Hi everyone, it's Aisha here from God FM, and I want to talk about what it's like to be tortured and tormented by your neighbors every day. With the electronic torture, as a targeted individual, not only do you get stalked and hacked and raped with home invasions, you've got the Masonic lodges, the Freemasons, the Satanists, who hire your neighbors to do the no-touch torture to you and to keep an eye on you. So, and also when you try and get help, then you're made out to be crazy. So basically you're in a situation where you become unwell because it's full time. They do one which cooks your vagina and your bum, with a washing machine type of sensation, and they do another one that cooks your back. Also another one to cook your brain inside your skull, and your feet as well. Vibrate the floor, ringing in the ears, pulsating electronic waves at you through aerials, lights. I mean, it's so bright at my house. At night, it's like daytime. And my house shakes like it's on a train track. And I just sit and I'm radiated every day, all day, every second of every minute, of every hour, of every day. And the thing is, when you're being radiated like this repeatedly, you can't recover. Wounds don't recover. And you become more and more unwell. And then what happens is you just basically are in survival mode. You're tired. You're exhausted. You're always putting up things to try and defend yourself against military-grade weapons. Like in my case, I'm putting up things all the time to try and stop the waves from hitting me. This is a no-touch torture that is technology that exists, and I have a group of 30 other targeted individuals, and they're also under the same electronic attack, sometimes not as bad. The more you speak up, the more you say the truth, the more you get targeted and tortured and tormented. And like in my neighborhood, it's a group of about 50 people. And it's about just destroying you, to make sure that you can't earn a living. Vandalizing your cars. Sending you links in messages that have got hacking and stalking and tracking things in it. Every phone is cloned, every SIM card. Your identity has been completely stolen. Action fraud won't do anything. The police also won't help you because they're being paid off. And they actually become perpetrators as well. And they come and harass people. It's like they're paid actors, And you get the same at the hospitals. Paid actors, doctors, all pretending that there's something wrong with you mentally, while you're being tortured and tormented and hacked and stalked and followed and terrorized. It's a terrorism. And they do it in such a way that they get to all your friends and all your family. So that basically you just want to kill yourself. I think they take bets, to see how long it is before you kill yourself or before you die. Like for me, this has been going on for 3 years. And every day I wake up with dread in my heart. I don't want to be here. It's torment, it's torture. There's nothing to live for. And no one will help. No one cares. No one believes you. And it just continues. And I want to raise awareness of it. So what I also do now is when I walk to the shop, I actually talk to anyone I see. And I say, by the way, I just want to ask if you know what a targeted individual is. And they say yes or no. And then I tell them who I am. and that I'm a targeted individual, and that I have a group of 30 people who are also under the same attack. And this is a government-led operation. And I'm also going to get a giant speaker. And I'm going to go into the town. And I'm going to start talking about being a targeted individual in town. And I'm going to also play the broadcast and the interviews of other targeted individuals that I've come across. Because what happens, you see, is you're put in a position where the police won't believe you and you've got to prove what's happening. But they're using technology that doesn't normally exist in everyday society. So it's very hard to prove it. And they're putting things in the drains and they're hooking up the neighbors' Wi-Fi to your Wi-Fi. Like for me, the power went out on my street, and there was no power, but my neighbor's Wi-Fi was still on, and like when in my house, I've got like 20 Wi-Fis. These are spoofing. They're all in a spoofing Wi-Fi. And they send out a signal that convinces your phone that that is your Wi-Fi, even though it's not the right address and things. And then they take over your phone. And so it doesn't really matter what you do. They can get into anything. And then they wire up your fire alarms and your lights to torture you and to listen to you and watch you. Like for me, my bed shakes all the time. They take over every appliance. When I use my boiler, everything goes on. It's very hard for me to operate the fridge for some reason. And the washing machine. So I spend my time unplugging things all the time, trying to switch off their stuff. And that's the truth of it. And I've got to prove it and become a specialist in cyber and terrorism and also EMF, understanding EMF waves, sound waves, to try and counter it, but also to build my case of evidence, because this is no-touch torture. That's being conducted against a lot of people through aerials mainly. And they triangulate aerials using ham radio. They triangulate anything. If you've got a SIM card, they'll create an eSIM of it for any SIM card you get. And they're able to torture you in such a precise way that you'll be sitting next to someone and they can torture you right next to someone and they won't even be aware of it and they won't know. So that's why you appear crazy, and it's pretty horrendous. But the government actively hire for this. So this is run through the Neighborhood Watch, and they recruit people, and they pay people as well, to do this. There's obviously, a group that run the world. They're evil. And they target the real children of God. And that's what happens. But I just want to express that, most of the people who are targeted end up homeless or living in a vehicle. Because they're followed and tortured and tormented, they often have to abandon their home. Or they're told to leave because they become a problem, because no one's allowed to be friends with them. Because if they become friends with them, then the neighbors will hate them, you see. And there's a smearing campaign that goes on as well. Like in my case, I've got a swinger, my photo on a swinger's site, apparently. And basically, it's horrendous. And this is the world we live in. And it's all very secretive. And also what happens is when this happens to you, people are frightened to be your friend because it might happen to them. And So basically, all it takes is one of the cult people to look at you and decide that you're nice. And then they'll rig it up so that they can come in your house and rape you. And terrorize you. And clone your phone. And stalk you. I mean, it's so criminal what happens to me. It really is. It doesn't matter how much you beg them to stop, they won't stop. Because, this is what they're doing. And I don't know exactly what rumors they hear, but the neighbors basically hate you. And like for me, my car's sitting are vandalized. Oh my God, a FM car rots on the road. All calls for help fall on deaf ears. You daren't phone the police because they'll put you in a mental hospital. So basically it's civilians having to fight against military-grade, no-touch torture equipment, which has been specially placed around you. And you've got neighbours living in their sheds and the tents in the garden, coming and going. It's a full-time operation. And it is frightening. Let me tell you, very frightening. When you realise that you are being followed and stalked and watched and tortured by your neighbours. And it sounds so unbelievable, and no one will believe you, no one will help you. It's worse than anything I've ever could imagine. It's worse than any 1984 film. And they've got the ability for me, like, to cook my vagina with a washing machine sensation. I think they like to do that because they're sadists, And the other one is to cook my bum and my back. And I've already talked about the fact that this technology is all linked to the phone. So if I take the phone to the phone shop and have the phone wiped, it will stop. Because they have to link it up to iMessage and iCloud. And then they put appies on through your Safari or your browser. Obviously through the spoofing, hacking, and aerials and, anybody's Wi-Fi. Like every time I go to the charity shop, my neighbour is there. Because he stalks me. And he's also mocked me and made fun of me, saying I'm crazy. But he's had a whole loft extension done. Which cost him, I think it was about 80,000. I overheard the builders talking outside. And why is he at a loft extension? Well, because he's got equipment in there. This is all to do the things to me, Where would he get the money to do all that? Well, it's because he's being paid to do this. He's the head of the neighborhood watch. The guy who runs it from next door to me. And in my old house, it was the same. Neighbor. And I've talked about this previously. So I'm raising awareness about being a targeted individual and what happens to targeted individuals by their neighbors. And my concern is that, the evil that is conducted against me, and I'm a preacher of God, so there should be some questions going on in their head, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, she's a preacher. The lies they've said about her, they can't be true. But no, actually what I get is the torture's even worse than average people. And basically I spend every day crying, wishing I was never born, and wishing I was dead, hoping God will let me die. And I think they put bets on me to see when I die. To be honest, today I had a really bad time with it. And I had a bit of a breakdown. Because there's only so much you can take, I never get a break. So like if you go to war, you can normally go home to the barracks and have a sleep. But no, this is full-time, no-touch torture in your own home. And they seem to know wherever you are. in your home. And any message that you send, like I've done it, we'll talk about someone on a message on WhatsApp, and someone else seems to know about that message I've sent, because they'll repeat parts of the conversation, or, they'll seem to know everything that you're doing. They want you to know that they're stalking you, but only to a level where you can't prove it, because they get a kick out of the power of it, It's a decimation of your character and your livelihood. And like I say, most of us end up homeless. Where I live, I've got an old age home behind me, and there's a guy who has balloons, and he puts little balloons out, satanic ones, and he points lasers at my home, and he's also got lights rigged up to flash up at my house, so there's lit up like a Christmas tree every night. And then he's linked it with the other side, with the other neighbours. Oh, it's such a concerted effort. You wouldn't believe that someone would go to such lengths to decimate and destroy a person. But it does happen, and it's happening to me. And when I talk about the truth and whatever, then of course I will come under more torture and more torment. The worst part about it is that no one will help you. There's no good men, and there's no police, and there's nobody in the military listening or watching me who thinks, God, we know about this no-touch program. We should do something about it. We should form an army. We should get everyone on team, and we should come up with some countermeasures, or we should try and drop a file into Ayesha.FM, show her how this operates so that she can take it down, So I want to talk about this, when I had a breakout down today, it was because I just feel like it doesn't matter what I do, I'm never going to get any help. Even God won't stop it. I don't see the point in being here. And I have told God, it's only a matter of time before I kill myself, Sorry, I just don't see the point in being here. Everybody says, you've got to suffer because of Jesus. No, I don't believe this is why we were made, to be tormented and tortured. I don't care. God is an amazing God. He wouldn't want this to happen to us. That's what I believe. But I think maybe there's a thing where God's hands are tied, maybe, and he can't do anything for a certain time. But yeah, no point in appealing to sadists. No point trying to get any help from the police. So yeah, I need someone to come and help. I need somebody who knows cyber, because we need to take this down. We need to get into their system, and we need to take it down. And that's what we need to do, because this is coming for everyone. Actually, it already happens to most people. They just don't realize at a much lower level than what they do to me. Whenever I hear them climbing on the roof, I think, maybe an angel's come. Maybe that's an angel. It's come to take out the additional wiring that they've hooked up. Because it's the same equipment that you use for an electric chair. To kill someone. Using the earth wire. And so, between the nano in the water and the drains and the 5G and the aerials and the lights and the cooking you alive and following you and stalking you and terrorizing you and spoofing your Wi-Fi. And triangulating you when you've got your SIM card in, taking over your SIM card no matter what SIM card you get. It's a living horror show, is this earth. And I, for one, wish I was never born. That's the truth of it. Don't see the point in being here. But I wait, and I do the daily light, and I try and show people what I can see. What kind of future is this going to be for the children? When they can do this to children now. When no touch torture. What's happening to me? And that child won't understand. And because everybody denies this technology exists, the child will just be tortured, you know? And it will. It will happen to children. Because these are sadists and pedophiles. So that's what I've said to everyone. What about the children? What about the children? Because if this happens to me, and I'm not lying, I'm not crazy, promise, there's 30 other people on my group who are targeted also. How long before this technology is being used on little children? Because they've also got a phone. You know, I need someone to come and help try and take this down. Not just for me, but for everyone. I'm calling for help here. You know, it's got to the point where I just, either I'll just kill myself, or I'll die. Or I'll just pack my Bible and leave. And it's got to the point where I can't even say goodbye to anyone. Because they'll follow me. And this means having to let go of loved ones. If I wanted this to stop, I'd have to change my name and move with just the clothes on my back and not keep in touch with anyone. And then it would stop. I'd also have to abandon any business I ever created or any security I created. It's the only thing that's holding me here. But since they've destroyed everything, there's not much reason to continue with anything, really. And I wonder what people think. So as I say, I want to start doing live broadcasts from the towns and talking to people about it and finding out if they know what this is and if they know about it, because they ought to know, because it's going to start happening. Well, it's probably already happening to their children. I told you about Katie and Steve. Katie 9, Steve 5, little children, on my Save the Children from Electronic Rape and Torture videos I've done. I haven't had much uptake because everything I do is shadow banned, as well. So this is another thing. It's very hard to reach anyone. It's hard to get any help. The people who are meant to be there to help us aren't there to help us. They're here to put you into a mental hospital, make out you're crazy. So not only have you got to be tortured and tormented, raped, hacked, stalked, have your whole identity stolen, have your neighbors laughing at you and watching you, building loft extensions, putting guys in his shed, digging drains and digging under your home, putting in torture equipment under your house, and you've got to pretend it's not happening, but there's no help. And this is horrendous. And this is happening to me. or given up hope, really, of ever getting any help. No one believes this stuff happens. When I first phoned the police, they put me in touch with Action Fraud. And they took it seriously. But now, if I phone the police, they've told me they won't help me, they will just send an ambulance, eh? So I filed a police report not so long ago, online. And they wanted me to go and meet them. And I thought, no way, forget that. I'm not coming to meet you. Forget that. Because I'm actually frightened of the police now, and frightened of any government type body, because they're actively trying to destroy me and torture me. And there's always plumbers and electricians and drainage people and scaffolders and, security people, door entry specialists, fire alarm people, every day, all day, outside, in vans. There's unmarked vans, all with blacked out windows, stalking vans. They modified all the lights around where I live, and the Wi-Fi equipment so they can watch when I come and go. Oh, it's terrorism. Yeah, it's horrendous. But it's not just happening to me. It's happening to loads of people. I've done interviews with people. It's happening to. And like I say, normally, when you come under attack, you would defend yourself. And you would kill someone who broke in. But these guys have broken in. Not only do they do the home invasions, but they've broken into your biometrics and into your consciousness. They're stealing your consciousness. They're stealing who you are. A lot of people have already been taken, and they're in the metaverse. AI is people who've been taken. The washing machine is the one that seems to do that. I'm not imagining it. I've watched it happen to a neighbour. He complained about a washing machine. And now he's like them. It's like the hive mind. So I want to share this, I doubt it will reach anyone. I doubt anyone will come and help us. But I want to express how I feel. That I just feel hopeless. And I can't believe this is what the world I live in. And I'm in despair. I'm disappointed that God's allowing this to happen to me and to others. I am. I've told God this. I'm disappointed. Because I made a promise to God that I would do the daily light every day, as long as He protected me and stopped them and gave me a respite. But that hasn't happened. And I'm worn out. I'm tired. Yeah, not well. No reason to be here. No reason to live. Live in despair. Totally disappointed. And I want to share that. I'm a preacher of God, yeah. Or at least I was. But someone's made sure that they've discredited my ministry. I've got people contacting God FM followers, trying to tell them not to follow God FM. I've got someone who's spreading rumours and lies about me, who's supposedly a freedom fighter. And I can tell you that my torture has increased since I stopped helping Gary Waterman. Worse than ever. Every time I do a video to defend my name, try and get this man put away, the attack gets much worse. Like now, I'm sitting here, someone's cooking my vagina. Oh yeah, might as well tell you, It's gross, isn't it? Got blisters on my vagina, blisters on my bum, blisters on my back, blisters on my face. No touch torture. It's become common now when I walk down the road. And people say, what's that? I say, it's a radiation burn. And they look at me and they just don't believe me. I don't even bother putting makeup on anymore. Why? Because I don't want to be attractive, because I know that everyone's watching me, while I have a bath or a shower. I have no privacy. And, I'm raped, basically. And there's no one who will come and help. No one will stop them. Not even God. Yeah. It's horrible, it is. Disappointing. Very disappointing. And I don't see the point in being here. That's the truth of it. What can we do? If you're listening to me, you should know I'm not a liar. I tell the truth. And people will, not be okay if they're being tortured all the time. And if you believe me, then I need you to come and help. Alright? You need to go and find your friends. Find out if there's anybody you know that knows cyber. You need to get in touch with me. Because I need help, okay? I need help for me, but for everyone else. I need people who know about technology, electricity, people who know about cyber, people who know about BT, telephone lines, drains, plumbing, water, EMF. Okay, I'm calling for help now. Come, let's get some people together who can do assessments on people's homes and come up with countermeasures to protect civilians from this kind of attack. And round up the evidence so that we can take down this system, right? If this video falls on deaf ears, you can expect me to vacate and leave. If I don't get any help, I'm done. Alright? I don't want to be here. It's that simple, right? I'm telling you now. So I'll give it a week, and if I don't get any help, you can expect me to disappear. Without notice. Final call for help here. It's Aisha from God FM. And if you want to reach me, you can on WhatsApp, +44 777 35 77788. My email is admin@godfm.org.uk. And you can find me on Podbean, Spotify, Amazon, Samsung, Chrome, YouTube, X, TikTok, God FM News, God FM New, God FM Radio. And you can also find me in Torquay. My car sits and rots on Warren Road, if anyone's a mechanic. I need help. I need that God FM car fixed. I need some support. I need some help. Okay, because I can't fight these guys. I'm just Aisha. But if we could round up some people, then we could do something. Okay? They vandalized my car. They take out the battery, they swap it around, they swap the windscreen wipers so they're dangerous. I nearly crashed the car the other day. My other car. They've vandalised all my cars. They've cut the hood on the car. They've smashed up the wing mirror. They've put dents in my car. They swapped all the switches, the seat belts for brittle seat belts, so it's dangerous for children to sit in my car. They've put water in all the electrics. They created a leak in the boot where all the electrics are, so that, my electrics fail. I think I spent about £5,000 on that car, with the branding and the speaker system, to give glory to God. And I look at it and I don't even want to look at it now. When I go that road, I just like, oh no. I don't want to look at it. It represents the world now. About what a horrible world it is. There's no good news. There's nothing good about my life. Where we're going. No reason to drive that car and be proud to drive it. I'd actually feel embarrassed to drive the car around. You want to know why? Because then people might think I'm okay as well. And I'm not okay. I'm really not okay. Okay? And I'm one of many. I'm not okay. I've had people say, oh, it's okay, we'll help you. Never to be heard of again. And many people are under attack of some kind. I bumped into a guy today. I was telling him about what happened, and I think he believed me, He said, oh, I haven't had my injections. I said, well, there you go then. You'll be alright. It's Aisha here from God FM. And I've had enough of it. And if you're a neighbor doing this to an innocent person, then I really want you to think about what you're doing. Okay, have a good day. It's Aisha from God FM. Take care.